Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to learn about thermodynamics NCERT section 11.8.3 to 11.8.6 and 11.9. This is disclaimer. Learning objectives. By the end of this lecture you will able to understand the adiabatic process, isochoric process, isobaric process and cyclic processes. Then second law of thermodynamics through its various formulas like Kelvin, Planck, Clausius and entropy statements. Alright. So in today's lecture we will cover first 11.8.3 adiabatic process, then 11.8.4 isochoric process, 11.8.5 isobaric process, then 11.8.6 cyclic process, and then 11.9 second law of thermodynamics. So these are the topics of the today's lecture which we will learn one by one. So first, adiabatic process. So basically an adiabatic process is a thermodynamic process in which no heat is exchanged between a system and its surroundings. If there is no heat exchanged between system and surrounding, then we can say delta Q is equal to 0. Here delta Q is change in heat energy, and this occurs either when the system is perfectly insulated. Alright, when the system is perfectly insulated, so there is no chance of exchange of heat, or when the process happens so rapidly that heat transfer is negligible, or we can say minimum. Examples: thermoflask. This is best example in which there is no exchange of heat between a system and its surroundings. A thermos flask is designed to minimize heat transfer. So processes happening inside can be considered adiabatic. Why we called here the process is adiabatic? Because in adiabatic process there is no heat transfer, or we can there is no heat exchanged between a system and its surroundings. Air pump. When you rapidly compress air in a bicycle pump, air heats up because the compression happens so quickly that there's no time for heat to escape to the surroundings. So these two are examples of the adiabatic process. So in conclusion we can say, if we talk about the adiabatic process, there is no exchange of heat between a system and its surroundings. Delta Q is equal to 0. Alright. Internal energy for adiabatic process. Here we will learn, or we will see the internal energy in adiabatic process. So for adiabatic process there's no heat exchange with surrounding, so delta Q equal to 0. So we know the first law of thermodynamics, that is delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. So when we substitute the value of delta Q in equation 11.1, so we will get a new expression, that is delta U plus delta W equal to 0, as the process is adiabatic process. So from this expression we can write delta U is equal to minus delta W. Alright, this expression tells us the internal energy is equal to minus of work done. Internal energy and work relationship. So delta U is equal to minus delta W. So now we have some case. If a gas expands adiabatically, in that case the work done is positive, or we can say delta W is greater than 0. Its internal energy decreases. It means the change in internal energy less than 0, and temperature falls down. Alright, because the change in internal energy depends on the temperature. If the temperature falls down, so we can say there the internal energy of the system is less than, or we can say decreases less than 0. So we know the formula of delta U is equal to NCV dt, or we can say NCV delta T. So delta T is the temperature change in temperature, or delta U is the change in internal energy. So if the temperature changes, internal energy will also changes. If a gas is compressed adiabatically, in that case delta W work done is less than 0. Less than 0 means negative. So its internal energy increases. So delta U is greater than 0. Now what about the temperature? So temperature rises. Alright. So from these two concepts we can analyze that if the temperature increases, change in internal energy increases. Alright. And we can say the work done is is less than 0. And if the temperature falls down, change in internal energy decreases, or work done is positive. So this equation delta U is equal to minus delta W, it means the temperature of the system rises and change in internal energy is positive. Alright. Ideal gas equation for adiabatic process. For an adiabatic process, the expression is PV gamma equal to constant, and this is most important expression. So we can write CP/CV in terms of gamma. So gamma equal to Cp upon Cv, where gamma is the specific heat ratio. So substituting the value of P from ideal gas equation, that is PV equal to nRT, in the above expression. So it will be nRT V raised to the power gamma divided by V equal to constant. Alright, in this expression the value of P is PV is nRT. So expression become this one. So when we solving LHS term, you will be get T V raised to the power gamma minus 1, because this V having in numerator and 1V having on denominator. So it will be T V raised to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant divided by nR. So it will be T V raised to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, as n is number of moles, that is constant, and R is also a constant term. So RHS term will also constant. ideal gas equation for adiabatic process. Similarly, the value of V from ideal gas equation, that is PV equal to nRT, in the expression PV gamma equal to constant. So just put the values V P into nR T divided by P whole power gamma equal to constant. So rearranging the terms, it will be P raised to the power 1 minus gamma T raised to the power gamma equal to constant, because here P having power 1 and this one P having power minus gamma. Alright, so if the base is same, then power will add. The above expression is the relationship between pressure P and temperature T for an adiabatic process, and this expression is also important. P raised to the power 1 minus gamma into T raised to the power gamma equal to constant. Alright. Work done in an adiabatic process. If an ideal gas changes its state from pressure P1 volume V1 to pressure P2 volume V2. So using P V raised to the power gamma equal to constant, we can write the expression P1 V1 raised to the power gamma is equal to P2 V2 raised to the power gamma. Alright, because we know the in adiabatic process PV gamma equal to constant. Now we know the formula of the work done in a thermodynamic process, that is W equal to integration V1 to V2 PdV. Alright, here volume changes V1 to V2. So substituting the value of P for adiabatic process, it will be W equal to integration V1 to V2 constant divided by V raised to the power gamma dV, because we know PV gamma equal to constant. So here constant comes outside, so it will be W equal to constant into integration V1 to V2 V raised to the power minus gamma dV. Alright, so this expression comes from the above expression. Now by integrating the expression W equal to constant into integration V1 to V2 V raised to the power minus gamma dV, so from this expression we get V equal to constant into when we integrate, you will get the V raised to the power 1 minus gamma divided by 1 minus gamma, and their limits is V1 to V2. Lower limit is V1, upper limit V2. So substituting the limits, it will be V equal to C into V2 raised to the power 1 minus gamma divided by 1 minus gamma minus V1 raised to the power 1 minus gamma divided by 1 minus gamma. Alright, just put the values of put lower limit value and upper limit value, you will be get the this one expression. Here C is the constant. Now rearranging, so it become constant divided by 1 minus gamma into 1 divided by V2 gamma minus 1 minus 1 divided by V1 gamma minus 1. So this term comes from the previous equation after rearranging. So from adiabatic relation, that is PV gamma equal to constant, we can substitute the constant values as P1 V1 gamma equal to P2 V2 gamma is equal to constant. This is adiabatic process. Alright. So W equal to 1 divided by gamma minus 1 into P2 V2 gamma divided by V2 gamma minus 1 minus P1 V1 gamma divided by V1 gamma minus 1. So this expression comes from this adiabatic expression. P1 V1 gamma is equal to P2 V2 gamma. Alright. just put the value of constant, this one. So simplify this term, you will be get W equal to 1 divided by 1 minus gamma P2 V2 minus P1 V1. This is the work done in an adiabatic process. Using ideal gas equation, that is PV equal to nRT. So we can write P1 V1 is equal to nRT1. And this is similarly for similarly the second equation is P2 V2 is equal to nRT2. This is for a gas having pressure P1, volume V1 and temperature T1. Similarly, gas having pressure P2, volume V2 and temperature T2. Now substituting in the formula of the work done, that is W equal to 1 divided by 1 minus gamma P2 V2 minus P1 V1. So it will be W equal to 1 divided by 1 minus gamma nRT2. Why? Because P2 V2 equal to nRT2 minus nRT1 because P1 V1 equal to nRT1. Alright. So it become W equal to nR T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. So here nR is common in both term. So we will we here take outside of the bracket. So this expression we known as work done in an adiabatic process in terms of temperature and gamma. From the expression of work done, W equal to nR T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. So in an adiabatic process where work is done by the gas, it means W is greater than 0. Final temperature T2 is less than the initial temperature T1, meaning the gas cools down. When the work is done on the gas, there are two terms, by the gas and on the gas. When in an adiabatic process, work is done by the gas, W is positive. When the work is done on the gas in adiabatic process, W is negative. And here when the W is negative, it means final temperature T2 is greater than the initial temperature T1. So indicating a rise in the gas temperature. Alright. So here if the temperature increases, their internal energy will also increases because internal energy depends on the temperature. Delta U is equal to NCV delta T. Now second process is isochoric process. A process in which volume of the system is kept constant. So in this process volume is constant, so we can write V is equal to constant. So delta V equal to 0. So we know the formula of the work done, that is delta W equal to P into delta V. So here delta V equal to 0. So in that case delta W equal to 0. And this is important point. If we talk about the isochoric process, so we can clearly say the work done is 0 because here work done depends on volume. If the volume is constant, work done is 0. No work is performed by or in the gas in isochoric process as volume is constant. Alright. Relationship between heat and internal energy in isochoric process. From first law, that is heat is equal to change in internal energy plus work done. So we can write heat equal to change in internal energy as W equal to 0, or we know this is a isochoric process. So the total heat supplied is equal to internal energy of the system. Therefore, in isochoric process, any heat absorbed by the gas is directly increases its internal energy and temperature. Alright, so this is important. Heat transfer in isochoric process. So for isochoric process, using ideal gas equation, PV equal to nRT. So from this expression we can say pressure is directly proportional to constant. Pressure is directly proportional to temperature at constant volume. So we can write P1 T1 equal to P2 divided by T2. Alright. So change in internal energy for constant volume. So it will be delta U is equal to N CV T2 minus T1. Here T2 minus T1 is change in temperature. So as we have Q is equal to delta U for isochoric process, yes or no? So Q equal to NCV T2 minus T1. So change in temperature for a given amount of heat is determined by specific heat of the gas at constant volume. Alright. So from this expression it is also clear that the internal energy depends on the temperature, and we write here the Q equal to Q will also depends on change in internal energy. Let's see an example. 2 moles of an ideal gas at 300 Kelvin and 1 atm pressure undergo the following processes. First, isothermal process, isothermal expansion to double the volume. B, adiabatic expansion to double the volume. Calculate work done, heat transfer and change in internal energy for each process. Use gamma equal to 1.4. Alright, so let's see the solution. So the given terms, number of moles N equal to 2 mole. Initial temperature T1 is equal to 300 Kelvin. Initial pressure P1 equal to 1 atmospheric, that is 1.013 into 10 raised to the power of 5 Pascal. Final volume V2 equal to 2 times of initial volume. So it will be V2 equal to 2 into V1 for both processes. Specific heat ratio gamma equal to 1.4. Alright, so these are the given terms. So firstly, we will use the expression of specific heat capacity at constant volume. So it will be CV equal to R divided by gamma minus 1. Alright, and we know the value of R, that is 8.314 joule per mole per Kelvin, and the value of gamma 1.4. So when put the value in the expression, you will be get 8.314 divided by 0.4. So when we solving, it will be 20.785 joule per mole Kelvin. Alright. Initial volume using ideal gas equation, that is PV equal to nRT, is V1 equal to nRT1 divided by P1. So just put the values nRT1 P1. So expression will be 2 into 8.314 into 300 divided by 1.013 into 10 raised to the power of 5. When we solving this, you will be get 0.0492 meter cube. Alright. So first, here we have to find out for isothermal expansion. So work done during isothermal expansion of the gas is W equal to nRT1 log V2 upon V1. To solving these questions, we will use direct formula. Alright. So this is the expression of the work done. So put the values 2 into 8.314. This is the value of R. into T1, that is 300 into log 2. So when we put the value of V2 and V1, so it will become log 2. So solving this, you will get W equal to 4988.4 into 0.693. So W equal to 3457 joule. So work done during isothermal expansion of the gas is 3457 joule. Alright. Change in internal energy, that is delta U is equal to N CV delta T. So here the process is isothermal process. So we know in isothermal process delta T equal to 0. So its internal energy delta U equal to 0. So heat transfer using first law of thermodynamics is Q equal to delta U plus W. So put the values, change in internal energy 0 and work done is 3457 joule. So Q is equal to 3457 joule. Alright. Now second is for adiabatic expansion. Using the relation between temperature and pressure for adiabatic process, that is T into V raised to the power gamma minus 1 equal to constant. So we can write T1 V1 raised to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 raised to the power gamma minus 1. So here we calculating final temperature T2 of the gas for adiabatic expansion. So it will be T2 equal to T1 into V1 upon V2 whole power gamma minus 1. So solving this and we putting the value, you will be get T2 equal to 300 into 1 by 2 whole power 0.4. So T2 equal to, when we solving this, you will be get 227.4 Kelvin. Alright. Work done during adiabatic expansion of the gas is W equal to NCV T1 minus T2. So just put the values in the given formula. 2 into 20.785 into change in temperature, that is 300 minus 227.4. After calculation it will be 3018 joule. Alright. Now we will calculate change in internal energy. So change in internal energy in adiabatic process, delta U is equal to minus of delta W. So delta U is equal to minus 3018 joule. Heat transfer in an adiabatic process, so delta Q equal to 0, because in adiabatic process there is no exchange of heat between system and its surroundings. Isobaric process. Isobaric process, a process in which pressure P of a system remains constant. It means the change in pressure equal to 0. So in this process, other properties of the system like volume and temperature may change. So this is the PV indicator diagram for isobaric process. So initial volume V1, final volume Vf. Alright. If we increase the volume, suppose 10, 20, 50, the pressure remains constant. Example, boiling water. As water boils at a constant temperature and pressure, the volume of the system increases, alright, in the form of steam. Work done in isobaric process. So from the ideal gas equation, PV equal to nRT. So volume is directly proportional to temperature at constant pressure for isochoric process. So we can write V1 upon T1 equal to V2 upon T2. So work done is W equal to P into V2 minus V1, as P is constant. So just put the value of P and V2 in the form of T. You will be get W equal to NR T2 minus T1. All right. This expression comes from this V1 upon V2 equal to T2 V2 upon T2. Internal energy and heat exchange in isobaric process. So change in internal energy is delta U is equal to NCV T2 minus T1. So change in temperature lead to change in internal energy, because internal energy depends on temperature. Using first law, Q is equal to delta U plus W. So delta U and W, put the value of delta U and W. So you will be get Q equal to NCV delta T plus NR delta T. And here delta T is common, so Q become Q equal to N into Cv plus R into delta T. So in terms of pressure, it will be Q is equal to NCP delta T, because we know Mayer's relation Cp minus Cv equal to R. So in isobaric process, heat absorbed by the gas is used partially to increase internal energy and partially to form work. All right. PV diagrams. Thermodynamic processes are often represented on pressure volume diagrams, or we can say PV diagrams. So PV diagrams for different processes: isochoric, adiabatic, isothermal, isobaric. All right. So for isothermal process, this one, PV indicator, isothermal process, temperature remains constant, so its curve is hyperbola. Adiabatic process, exchange of heat between system and its surroundings is equal to 0, so its curve is steeper, hyperbola. PV gamma equal to constant. This is the expression. Isobaric, pressure is constant, horizontal line, this one. Isochoric, vertical line, volume is constant. All right. So this is PV indicator diagrams of the thermodynamic processes. So if we increase the volume, the pressure remains constant. If we increase the pressure, volume remains constant. All right. Work done calculation using PV diagram. So we know the formula W equal to integration PdV. So to calculate the work done by using the PV diagram, we will just calculate the area under PV curve. So if we have a isothermal process, so just calculate the area between this. And if we have adiabatic process, so calculate the area between this. All right. Cyclic process. A cyclic process is a thermodynamic process where a system goes through a series of changes and returns to its original state. It means in cyclic process, the initial state and final state both will be same. Net change in state variables like internal energy in cyclic process is 0, because internal energy is a state function, or we can say state variable, which depends on initial and final position. It independent of path. But in the cyclic process, the initial state and final state both is same. All right. So we can say the internal energy in cyclic process is 0. All right. So delta U equal to 0. So from first law of thermodynamics, Q equal to delta U plus W. Net work done equals net heat absorbed in cyclic process, because the change in internal energy is equal to 0. So examples: Carnot cycle, theoretical ideal cycle. All right. Second law of thermodynamics. So second law of thermodynamics states that the total entropy of an isolated system can only increase or remains constant in a reversible process. Here entropy is randomness. So in a reversible process, the randomness only increases or remains constant. Or we can say entropy is a measure of disorder or randomness in a system. So according to second law, natural processes proceed in a direction to increase disorder or randomness within a system. Alright. So most real world processes are irreversible, meaning they cannot get back to their original state without external work. So mostly irreversible processes are present in the real world. Second law highlights the irreversibility, as the entropy of the system and its surroundings will have increased during this process. If we talk about the example, so heat transfer. Heat naturally flows from hotter object to a colder object. Yes or no? So we can say when heat flow from hotter object there, and when heat flows uh, towards the colder object, so the randomness of the colder part is increases. Second example, breaking in a glass. This is the good example. So a broken glass will not a spontaneous reassemble itself. So when a glass is break, its randomness is or disorderness increases. Mathematical form of second law is delta S is greater than 0. Here delta S is the change in entropy of the universe, or it is always increases or remains constant. Entropy is a measure of randomness within a isolated system. Factors increasing entropy in a closed systems. First, exchange of heat with surroundings, creating disturbances and increasing entropy. Alright, if the number of disturbance increases, so in that case we can say entropy is increases. Internal changes in molecular movements leading to irreversibility and increase entropy. So any changes that in a process increase their entropy. Statements of second law. There are two different statements of the second law are given. First, Kelvin-Planck's statement. Second, Clausius statement. Alright, let's see. So first, Kelvin-Planck statement. Kelvin-Planck statement states that no process can exist where entire outcome is the absorption of heat from a single temperature reservoir and complete conversion of that heat into work. It means we can say there is no process can exist in real world that in that process the total heat converted into work. from a single temperature reservoir. In simple words, you cannot convert all heat energy into useful work without some heat being rejected to a cold reservoir or some other change occurring in the system or surroundings. So there is some loss of heat. No process can exist. All right. So here heat comes from hot reservoir, goes to heat engine, and then some heat goes to cold reservoir. All right, and work is done by the system. So this can exist, but RHS side, heat comes from hot reservoir and work done by the system, and no loss of heat. No process can exist. All right. Second statement is closure statement. It states that no process is possible whose sole result is transfer of heat from a colder object to a hotter object. It means no any process is possible in which a transfer of heat from a colder object to a hotter object occurs. This means that the heat naturally flows from hot to cold. All right. And to achieve heat transfer from cold to hot, external work must be done. All right. So to transfer colder object to hotter object, transfer of heat from colder object to hotter object, we need to do external work. All right. Heat engine fundamentals. So a heat engine is a device that operates in a cycle, absorbs heat from hot reservoir. So here QH is the heat that is absorbed from the hot reservoir and rejects heat to a cold reservoir, QC. Produces net work output, that is QH minus QC. This is the work done by the system. All right. Heat transfer process in heat engine. So energy flow in a heat engine can be represented mathematically as QH is equal to W plus QC. So work done equal to QH minus QC, where QH is the heat absorbed from hot reservoir and W is the work produced and QC is the heat rejected to cold reservoir. This mathematical expression just for understanding. All right. Efficiency. Basically, efficiency eta of a heat engine is defined as ratio of work produced to the heat absorbed from a hot reservoir. Mathematically, ratio work divided by QH. Here QH is heat absorbed and W is work. So we know the W, QH minus QC and QH as it is. So it becomes eta equal to 1 minus QC divided by QH. Alright, more about the efficiency we will learn in next lecture in Carnot cycle or Carnot engine. Alright. Second law, constraints. Efficiency eta of a heat engine is always less than 1. This constraint indicates that perfect conversion of heat to work not possible. Eta is less than 1. Alright. Now we summarize it. An adiabatic process has no heat exchange. Delta Q equal to 0 follows PV gamma equal to constant and work done is W equal to NR T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. In isochoric process, volume remains constant, delta V equal to 0. No work is done. W equal to 0 and Q equal to delta U, that is equal to NCV delta T. Isochoric process maintains constant pressure. Work done is W equal to P into delta V. So it will be equal to nR delta T, and heat exchange is Q equal to nCp delta T. In cyclic process, system returns to initial state. It means initial and final state both is same. So in that case, the change in internal energy is 0, because change in internal energy is a path function which depends on initial and final state. It is independent of path. And net work in a cyclic process is equal to Q net, means heat supplied. Second law states entropy always increases. Delta U of universe always increases in a irreversible process. Calvin Planck's statement. So it states that no process can exist in which heat completely convert to work in a cyclic process. Clausius statement, heat cannot spontaneously flow from colder to hotter body. Heat engine efficiency is eta equal to W upon QH, or 1 minus QC upon QH, always less than 1. More about the heat engine we will learn in next lecture, Carnot engine. Alright. Now we have some practice questions. This is homework for you. First, a gas expands adiabatically and does 500 joule of work. What is the change in its internal energy? Second, in an isochoric process, if 200 joule of heat is added to a gas, what is the change in its internal energy? Third, in ideal gas expands at constant pressure of 2 atm from 3L to 5L. Now volume changes. Calculate the work done by the gas. A heat engine absorbs 1000 joule of heat and performs 300 joule of work. Calculate its efficiency. Fifth, a refrigerator removes 200 joule of heat from a cold space using 550 joule of work input. Calculate of its COP, coefficient of performance. Alright. Thank you for your attention.